Where do you sleep tonight?
Tonight's in the factory.
In the factory, not in a hotel.
Well, technically a conference room in the factory, but yeah.
You sleep in a conference room in the not finished factory tonight?
Yeah, it gives me a good feel for what's going on.
Alone or?
Yeah, I assume so. It's an invitation. Yeah.
If you're sitting here right now, never heard of me, and you're like, fuck this guy, I don't like his bravado. I don't give a fuck either. I don't care if you think I'm the best. I don't care if you think I'm the worst. I'm just in my shit because I'm grounded, because I know what I am and I know how I'm trying to live my life. And I want that for every fucking person, because let me tell you something, it fucking is the best.
We are judging ourselves against too many fucking people. You have to judge yourself against yourself. And that's the one thing I started learning, man. This isn't a race against me and Rich Roll. This is a race against David Goggins and David Goggins alone. And once you can silence all that bullshit, all the outside interference and things that are attracting your mind to everything, you can then start to grow.
If you want to be effective in business, you need a clear, calm, cool, collected mind. Warren Buffett plays bridge all day long and goes for walks in the sun. He doesn't sit around like constantly loading his brain with nonstop information and getting worked up about every little thing. We live in an age of infinite leverage. What I mean by that is that your actions can be multiplied 1,000-fold, either by broadcasting at a podcast, or by investing capital, or by having people work for you, or by writing code. So because of that, the impacts of good decision making are much higher than they used to be, because now you can influence thousands or millions of people through your decisions or your code. So a clear mind leads to better judgment, leads to better outcome. So a happy, calm, peaceful person will make better decisions and have better outcomes. So if you want to operate at peak performance, you have to learn how to tame your mind, just like you have to learn how to tame your body.
Who's my hero? That's a great question. Well, I think my dad is my hero, because he's someone that I look up to every day. And my dad.
Let me tell you the power when we talk about social media and the internet. You got a free gateway now. TV is getting old. Everybody goes to the internet. You can build yourself and build your fan base. And let me tell you something. When those numbers come virally, advertisers come right behind it. Hey, I heard this guy gets a lot of numbers on his page. I want to promote my product. Hey, let's put it on his page. Go click on a random person on YouTube that get a lot of views. Guarantee you see a commercial on his page. Guarantee you that person isn't smart enough to know, wait, I should be getting paid for it. But that person is probably going to a person that's posting his stuff, and that person that he's going to is getting paid for posting his stuff. There's money in anything you do. Nothing's free.
Some people will get it, some people won't. But they have to see what their journey is to start their journey. Several people live to be 100 years old, and they have great lives, and they have great kids. Their kids go to college and all sorts of stuff. But somewhere in their life, there was a point where they had a decision to make. They can go left or right on this path. Left was the easy route. Right was the hard route. A lot of people take the easy route. And they had a good life that way, but the better life was going to the right side. And you may have 20 years of pain and suffering to get past it, but a lot of us die never truly starting our journey. And I would tell this young person, you gotta start your journey. It may suck, but it will come out the other side when you're coasting.
One of the most difficult choices I ever faced in life was in 2008. I think I had maybe $30 million left, or $30 or $40 million left in 2008. And I had two choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the two companies. But if I split it between the two companies, they both might die. And when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating something, or building something, it's like a child. And so it's like, which one am I going to let one starve to death? I can bring myself to do it, so I split the money between the two. Fortunately, thank goodness, did with me.
The hard part for most people is that trade-off between, do I keep my job or how do I start a company when I have a job? most people feel like they need to raise money so they can quit their job.
Would you advocate they quit their job?
No.
Say, go make it happen, get some revenue in, prove it out.
I worked as a bartender at night. I mean, whatever you have to do, that's part of being an entrepreneur. So if you have to work on weekends, you have to Uber at night, Uber on weekends, so you have some income coming in so you can work on your company, or you work your regular job during the week, and at night and weekends, that's when you work on your startup.
So the good news there is anybody can be an entrepreneur if they're willing to work their ass off 24 hours.
That's what it takes.
That's your message.
You know, like they always say, entrepreneurs work 80 hours so they don't have to work 40.
Do you know, before I used to take everything and think, oh, I want this, I want that. I was never happy with what I got. It's human nature, we always want more.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, no matter how much you've got of something, then you're always searching for more things.
I think that's ego nature.
No doubt about it.
That's the nature of the ego.
And now it's like, I don't care if I lose everything. I don't care what happens. Nothing really is ours anyway in life. We only borrow it until we die, and it all goes.
Yeah.
The only thing we truly own in this life is moments in time. And this is a moment in time for me that will never be erased. And no matter what happens, this is always going to be my time. Yeah. This will be my moment in time because I lived here and I was a part of this.
Yeah.
You know, everything else, this bag, this watch, these clothes, they will all go. What does it really matter?
Yeah, your body.
Even the body will go. This is a shell.
Yeah.
But what's inside, hope to God, lives on forever.
Definitely does.
You should be a monster. You know, because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no. Wrong. You should be a monster. An absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
Do you know the expression, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war?
Right, exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. And so when I tell young men that, they think, well, lots of them are competitive. They're low in agreeableness, you know, because that's part of being competitive temperamentally. It's like, is there something wrong with being competitive? There's nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong with cheating. There's something wrong with being a tyrant. There's something wrong with winning unfairly. All of those things are bad. But you don't want people to win? What's the difference between trying to win and striving? You want to eradicate striving?
Do you think there is a meaning to life?
Like I said, I think
Absolutely.
You know, there are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight in the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that, because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. You know, I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here. And I think that would change their mind.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
It's difficult.
Did you expect them to cheer you on?
So they're hoping they would.
What are you trying to prove to them?
What I'm trying to do is to make a significant difference in spaceflight and help make spaceflight accessible to all.
People think their kids are less social, they're more social. What happened if you were in a school that you got bullied and it wasn't nice and you had no friends, but now you can go on Twitch and play video games with the people that have your interests? You have an outlet. They're closer to each other because of these things during the off season when they're in different places. I just unbelievably am non-romantic about how you and I grow up versus how they do. I'm just a big believer that humans are the greatest animal of all time and we adjust to our realities. And yeah, I just don't see it.
I hate Plan B.
when you start doubting yourself, that's very dangerous. Because now what you're basically saying is that if my plan doesn't work, I have a fallback plan, I have a plan B. And that means that you start thinking about plan B, and every thought that you put into plan B, you're taking away now that thought and that energy from plan A. We function better if there is no safety net, because plan B becomes a safety net. It says that if I fail, then I fall and I get picked up and I have something else there that will protect me. It is very dangerous to have a plan B, because you're cutting yourself off from the chance of really succeeding.
People only fail because they get caught up into what winning was. You're supposed to fail at some point in time. You're supposed to get knocked down a couple times. You're supposed to lose. That's how you learn. Perfection is only a word because imperfection was discovered. You can't be perfect without knowing what imperfect is. You have to experience imperfection at some point to go, now I'm perfect. And that's what people don't realize. I see that. That's a clear vision. And I would urge anybody listening, anybody watching, to really, really look into what their definition of success is. Because it should be yours, not other people's perception, not their definition. Success to you is what it will always be. So a win is always a win when you know what it is to you, not what it is to other people.